All right, to prepare the graph that you're going to be working with to draw from, once you have formatted your photos and checked with the teacher and printed your photo, you're going to move on to the next step today, which is to create the graph or the grid. So each student is going to pick up a paper grid, a Sharpie marker, a clear piece of plastic, and then you're going to want to tear off a piece of tape and stick that to the edge of the plastic, and then you're going to take those items back to your computer station. Please leave the tape at the cart so that we know where the tape is at. So when you get back to your computer station, you're going to center this clear plastic piece over the top of your graph paper, and you're going to take that down. Then each student is also going to pick up a ruler. So using the ruler and the Sharpie marker, you are going to trace the graph onto the clear piece of plastic. So when I do this, I take my ruler, I line it up with one of the grid lines, and then I use the Sharpie to trace along the edge. And then what I want to do is move my ruler away from the Sharpie I just drew. So the reason why I want to move it away from the Sharpie that I drew is because the Sharpie is wet when it first writes on the plastic, and if I slide my ruler the opposite direction, what's going to happen is your Sharpie is going to start to smear across the plastic, which isn't the end of the world, but some students just don't like the look of it. But it is okay if your Sharpie smear is not a big deal. So you'll trace all the Sharpie lines going across in one direction, and then you're going to trace all the Sharpie lines going across in the other direction. And again, I'm moving my ruler away from the fresh Sharpie that I just put down. Okay, when you finish, you will have 7 boxes in one direction and 9 boxes in the other direction. And then you're done with this paper graph, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take this plastic graph or grid, and you're going to set that on top of the photo that you formatted to be 3.5 by 4.5 inches, or boxes. And now what you're going to do is trace your contour edges. So using the Sharpie marker, you're going to outline all the contour lines. So the outside edge of whatever your animal is, and the more precise and accurate you are, the more your drawing is going to look recognizable when you finish this. So I'm going to trace the antennas, I'm going to trace the legs, and go around the shell. And then any details that you see on the inside of the body, like arms, legs, faces, eyeballs, mouths. So for me, I would be tracing these details of the pattern. So when I finish this, I'm going to have a contour drawing of whatever my animal is. And this is the beginning step to starting to then enlarge this drawing for your final project. Okay, so when I take this off and put white paper behind it, I can see the contour lines of whatever my animal was. But then I also want to label my graph. So I'm going to do letters and numbers. So letters across one side and numbers on the other side. Then when you finish this step, you are going to keep your printout and your graph paper in your art folder. You're going to return the Sharpie marker and the ruler, and you could return this paper one. You don't really need a paper one anymore. Those you're going to put back where you picked them up on the cart. This you're going to keep with your art folder, and then you will be ready to move on to the drawing portion.